What's up, folks? Jay here with another round of Etsy shop reviews. I just want to give a massive shout out to Shay, who purchased a coaching call from me and has allowed me to post the video of it on YouTube. So you guys will get an inside scoop as to what that looks like when you purchase time from me to kind of do this. And I've never asked anybody to put them online. I don't normally do that, but Shay volunteered. She says it's worth thousands. I don't know if I would go that far, but it's just humbling to get comments like this. These kinds of comments are the reasons I do it. So thank you so much, Shay. Just want to give you a shout out there. All right, so we're going to look at these next three shops here. I'm going to try to rip through three more that were posted in the post on my Facebook group. If you want to get your Etsy shop reviewed, you can go to my Facebook group. It's Etsy Print on Demand, and look for one of the featured posts and drop your shop in the link there. And today's shops that we're going to be reviewing, review number 10 is Krafty Designz by Nivi. Number 11 is ALoungePrints by Cynthia, and number 12 is Creaneetjje by Renee. So first and foremost, I want to just go through a quick disclaimer here, is that nothing I say is obviously going to make you rich overnight. There's no get rich quick scheme. It's all about how you take the information I give you and how you apply it to your own shops, how you stay abreast in your niches, all the new color palettes, all the new trending lingo in your certain niches, all that stuff really matters, right? So it's about how you stay on top of everything that I tell you. That said, I am not going to necessarily sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to stroke egos. It doesn't help anybody, and it wastes kind of all of our time, right? So I will touch on things that you do well, and I will also absolutely touch on things you can improve. If you've dropped your shop in there for me to review, it's likely because you want to improve. So that said, I will be as honest as possible. Thank you for having the courage. That, should have said that first and foremost, but it is amazing that you all have the courage to drop your shops and have me go through them and do so publicly. It's a great way to get the good feedback, and it's also a testament to being able to step a little bit outside of your comfort zone, right? And not being afraid of to put yourself out there. So massive kudos and congrats to you folks there. What I intend to do with these reviews here is give you my perspective, and that's coming from 20 years of professional graphic design and 10 years of selling on Etsy. And I'll try to identify things that I know have worked for me, right? So it'll be a combination of what has worked for me and Etsy's best practices. So let's do this. Here we've got Krafty Designz by Nivi. Okay, so first things first, I would say, first impressions here. Krafty Designz, your banner doesn't quite fit. Or maybe it does. Maybe that was intended to be cut, but it makes it hard to see that it's a KD. So I would definitely look at something like a Canva, or I think Canva would do it. They have all the banners, or even Place It. I think you can do Etsy shop banners in there. Let's read more. First things first here. Okay, so your logo, it's hard to, it's way too small to see what's going on there. So maybe just Krafty Designz in big letters. That said, Krafty Designz, if you were making a ton of sales, I would say it's working. But right now, Krafty Designz implies perpetual hobby, if that makes sense, right? So you want to give the customer some sort of inclination that you're doing something, professional, right? Because you follow it up with premium digital designs, but Krafty with a K instead of a C and Designz with a Z instead of an S does not scream premium at all, right? It screams crafty hobby, pretty much, right? So, oh my goodness, the year is going so fast. Do you sometimes feel like you're juggling multiple tasks? Okay, so two things here right off the bat. The year's going so fast. Well, yeah, because your last announcement was March 18th. So make sure you update that and just tweak something here to make it more, so that it shows that it was updated way more recently than whatever that is, 5 months ago. And you talk about planners, but I only see 1, 2, 3. 3 planners, 4 planners, right? Wedding planners and then meal planners. So if you're doing planners, there aren't too many in here. You've got coloring books, you've got thank you cards, and you've got a lot of stuff that is not in any of the sections. So if you're not going to put everything into sections, don't have sections at all, because it's not worth having multiple sections that only have 1, 2, or 3, or ultimately anything less than 10 or 12 items in there, because when a customer clicks on it, it's just a waste of time. They come in here and they've only got the one, where 27 items, I mean, you could see that all probably on one page. Yeah, you don't even have to go to the second page. So until you add more items, you can just get rid of these sections or condense them all into 3 sections, like coloring books, planners, and whatever else you're doing, right? Like invites, looks like, or just weddings in general. Let's look at, you've got 2 sales. So they are thank you postcard, thank you card. Okay, so you need to adjust your title so that you can tell immediately what it is, because when this is exactly how stuff shows up in the search results. So you definitely want to make sure that the customer knows what they're looking at. Small business minimalist, thank you. Just kind of reaffirm something if they see that versus a listing to the right or left of it that says thank you card for small business. You know, it tells them immediately they might choose to go to either of those two designs, right? As opposed to the one that where it's like you have to click on to find out what the rest says. Mermaids right away. I mean, get rid of Ariel here, My Little Pony, even if that might not be My Little Pony, but definitely copyright infringement here. So stay away from that. I'm gonna say you're gonna have to upload a few more items here for sure and do it a little more consistently. So let's look at when you listed your oldest here. So we've got July 18th. Let's go this one. Probably the same, July 18th, 1 week earlier. These all look kind of similar, so you probably uploaded them all at the same time, July 18th. So it doesn't look like you've uploaded a lot since July 18th. This one looks different. So August 8th, you uploaded some that went 3 weeks, and even that was not nearly as often as you'd need to be present in your shop, I think. What you can do here is if you were getting any love on this stuff, I mean, these look like a lot better listings, but you still can't read what is being said here. So make sure you consider that in your main image. So I would zoom out on that a little bit and maybe have a little less going on in the listing photo itself. Pick a shop that's doing well with the digital downloads here in the same vein and kind of try to emulate that in a way. I'm not saying copy, but like see how they're putting their listings together, right? See how, you know, there's a bit more of a focus here. See, this one says thank you cards bundle. Now you know what you're looking at. That's well done versus the previous ones, right? So there's definitely a marked improvement here, which is great news. Your featured items are definitely the older stuff. So you got printable wedding checklists. I would add different themes to this. Copy, like duplicate these listings, create, I mean, you have the files there. It'd be easy to just edit the colors and change the things out. Stick with something until you nail it. Like if you're gonna do wedding planners, stick with weddings. Like wedding planning can happen all the time, especially since a lot of people that are planning their weddings and stuff tend to plan like a year out starting there. So if you're gonna do weddings, I know they are like, that's a massive niche that is a guaranteed win. I feel like there's a lot of people doing it and there's a lot of good reason why, right? So don't feel like the competition is too stiff like that. It's a massive pie to get a slice from. You only need an incremental slice, a tiny slice of a really big pie to make some kind of, real money, right? It's where you niche down a little too tight sometimes. If there's no competition, a lot of people look for like the no competition stuff or low competition. Sometimes that low competition just means that it's low demand or a really small pie that you're trying to now get a slice of, right? Both ways can work, but just be conscious of that. Yeah, I would work on your design skills. Looks like wedding planner here. I don't know if, there's a lot out there. So see what's going on with other shops and see what they're doing and see what's working for them for sure. Printable wedding to-do list planner. A lot of these are very similar. So you're either gonna have to branch out in products or branch out in the aesthetic of the design. So yeah, I would definitely think of, try to stick with one of these kind of things until you really nail it. Different aesthetics, different looks. But I mean, none of these are very difficult to kind of reproduce. So I feel like you come up with a couple of things and you get kind of burnt out. But I think the biggest factor here would be consistency. I think like you don't need to upload 20 of them and then nothing again for 3 weeks at a time, right? Do what you can in a week, create a few, and then maybe once a week, right? Just get in there and start listing once a week on a Friday. Like train your customers to come back and look for more stuff. You can definitely do that, or if it's a Monday or a Sunday evening or whatever it is, but try to do that somewhat consistently. You don't need to kind of like what you were doing here. You look like you uploaded some 10 days apart or something, but if you can kind of do it a little more recent than that, or with less time in between. If you want to win at this and make business returns, like full-time returns, you're going to have to put kind of full-time effort into it. Otherwise, part-time, or minimal effort yields part-time or minimal returns, right? So I do applaud you for what you've done so far. Could use a little bit of sprucing up in terms of design, but I think you can probably get on something like Canva, or Kittl might have some options for you too. So you've got a massive advantage with these web-based softwares too, right? So like, I had to go to school for 3 years and then get 5-6 years worth of work experience to have something come out semi good even, or partly remotely decent. And you can use like the Kittles or the Canvas of the world and just, you know, hammer out this stuff. I'm sure they got templates you can just tweak a little bit and use. Kittle is full commercial license. Canva, you'll have to add your own elements, I believe, you know, but you're going to want to do that on any platform you design it on so that you have something unique that's not the same. Creative Fabrica is a good spot probably to get some kind of the stuff in the background, the looks. There's all kinds you can get out there for very cheap, right? And the subscriptions, I'll link to the stuff down below, but like the subscriptions for Creative Fabrica and stuff are like $5 a month, and you can, I think, for unlimited downloads, and you can really like put your own spin on some of the stuff they give you. It just gives you a head start, right? It looks like you're using some kind of elements, which is good, but try to spend 2 hours every night, maybe, kind of working on this part-time until you have the time to do this. Different strokes for different folks, but if you really want to win, you're going to have to put a lot more effort and time into it. But I feel with this stuff, you're not reinventing the wheel here. A lot of it, you can just change the colors. A printable daily planner can transcend genres, niches, whatever, pretty easily. So there's no reason that you can't really be hammering these. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is your price point here. So until you get reviews, which will, you know, give you way more credibility, I would definitely price these at, you know, do like a 50% off sale, like $1.15. It might not seem worth it to you right now, but it's a good way to get momentum in your shop. So list more, check your price point, because people are selling this stuff for less, and the ones that are selling for a little more can definitely, you know, command those prices because they've probably got a pile of sales behind them and sales momentum already, right? So sales momentum is a real thing here too. It kind of tells the algorithm, or validates you in the algorithm, right? That people want your stuff, so they'll continue to show it. And in order to get the sales in the beginning, like, you've created this stuff, you can have 999 of them listed. I don't ever recommend doing that, but because scarcity is a driver too. You don't want to look like you have like thousands available all the time. But that said, you can sell these over and over and over, right? Like incessantly. So better to make $1 1,000 times than to make, you know, $5 5 or 6 times, right? You're only a month in. I don't feel like you're, you know, too far behind here or anything like that. Try to do something at least every week, upload a few more, but I would try to really hammer down or nail down what it is you're trying to do. You want to do coloring books, you want to do wedding planners. Focus on 1 or 2, again, like I said, until you really get good at them, and then branch out to other things. Once you know, there's no reason why with digital downloads and stuff that you can't kind of really expand into different niches at the same time, because people will buy your stuff to resell too if you offer that license, like, you know, to tweak and resell. So that's also another way to go, right? You don't have to just sell stuff that people will print, but it's up to you. A lot of people don't like that, right? So they don't want to give up the licensing rights that way. But I would, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't hesitate about it. I mean, if you're getting templates of this stuff, everybody else can do that anyway too. So why not have them buy from you? But yeah, I hope that helps. I think there's a lot here you can do to get the ball rolling again, to kind of like, you know, shake off some slump. Again, thanks Nivi for listing your shop in the Facebook group and having the courage to, you know, put yourself out there like this. I hope these suggestions help. Okay, on to number 2 is ALoungePrints by Cynthia. Let's see here. A-Lounge or A-Lounge? This is all one word, it looks like, so it's kind of, first impressions, it's a weird thing to say. I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly. A Dyer Lounge or a Deer Lounge. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Hopefully it's a deer and not a dyer, because 2 words, a dyer, is literally, I think, you know, meaning desperate in a way. So consider how translations may potentially impact your business here. Definitely zoom in on this, figure out your logo here for Cynthia, because you can't, I mean, I can tell that it looks like a brown, kind of the same shape, but it's impossible to read. Ethnic Tribal African Prints Activewear. So it would be African printed activewear for grammar, so keep that in mind. Banner looks good. I'm assuming we're going to see more of this in the shop. You've got 7 sales. Updated April, so not too far gone, but you could stand to update something here. Thank you for coming to our shop. Our story begins. I'll stop you at our story. This is a good chance to secure or give people information as to why they need to shop your shop like right now. So keep this short and sweet. This is your shop announcement. This isn't your About Us section. Our story here literally goes down here. And okay, you have our story, our journey, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing you copy pasted. Turn this into something else. This stuff, maybe put it at the top. Follow us. Here, come here for a coupon code and follow us, blah, blah, blah. You can also make sure that you fill out some of this stuff. right? You can go into, if you went here, you would go into view your profile, and you can edit your profile in there. Tell people who you are. But yeah, it looks like you copy pasted that. So that stuff looks great for down there. As a Black-owned business, we're proud to promote diversity and representation in the fashion. Inclusive and accessible is great. Fitness, fashion, inclusivity. Okay, I feel like I'm reading the same thing a little over. This is great. I would, yeah, you've got some, it's perfect. 6-second video. Yeah, that works. Maybe even do something here showing like your design process, like even if it was a picture of your screen, you know, that you took with your phone, like how part of the process kind of thing. Show people that, you know, I mean, the imagery here is good, but maybe add shop updates too. You can do that as well. Let your customers know what's coming and what's going on. You've got most of your sections with a few items in here. You have a ton of sections. So you've got ethnic print biker short with one item in there. So I wouldn't, you know, I would just get rid of the section entirely and move it into African print shorts. If it's not African print, I think most of your shop is ethnic, isn't necessarily African, but some of these are all similar. I would cut it down to maybe by tribal print. So you're kind of combining, so you're breaking it up a little too much, I think. I would either go by design aesthetic here or by product, but not both, because then you can at least figure out, you know, to put things in here like button down shirt. Where can we put that in? Pretty sure that will go in ethnic print tops, right? Travel print t-shirts, probably ethnic also, right? Travel print, unless there's something I'm really missing here. Like your imagery looks good. This all looks really good. I just think that your sections are way too spread out. I think it would be confusing to some people to, you know, ethnic print tops, t-shirt. These are not, reading this is tricky. Like these aren't even t-shirts, right? Yeah, they're yoga tops, so they're not even in the right category. So definitely sort that out. Maybe it's a language barrier thing. I'm not entirely sure, but something's not working. You don't need to have 4 words in a section. Like tell people what it is. You want tribal, ethnic, or African. But I mean, tribal can also be African. Yeah, tribal isn't always African. So yeah, I mean, it becomes confusing. It's confusing to look at right now. Pink movie collection. I don't know what that means. Pink movie collection. Are you trying to go with the Barbie thing here? Let's hope not. Analyze the listing. Okay, your keyword real estate here, you don't need to have leggings in every single one, and no one's looking for leggings, pink leggings, girls leggings, casual. You can have some longer tags that are like pink pattern yoga leggings, or yoga leggings for girls, or plus size yoga leggings. You don't have to have leggings, MLM, like multi-level marketing. Is that what that is? I don't know. Forgive me if I don't know yoga very well, but I don't understand why you would have it. Like look at this, some of these, like these are super low search volume, so you're never going to get found for anything. Like you can keep leopard leggings in there, but you definitely want to have leggings for girls. But yeah, you definitely want to like examine some of your keywords here and look at this. Leggings pink, leopard leggings, leggings gym. You're gonna have commas, have a space. Pay attention. I feel like you're rushing through this, or again, maybe you know, it's a language barrier, but either way, you're gonna have to either brush up on your North American English or get somebody else to do it who is better versed grammatically. You want this to say leopard print leggings for girls in the beginning, and then, you know, you've got so much more. You can get another whole line of text here and maybe a third line, I believe. Use way more, do a little more research. And now I'm not saying keyword research necessarily, but like look for similar products and see how those shops are listing their items. Leggings pink blush as one keyword. No one's looking, I can tell you that no one is looking for leggings pink blush. Light pink buffalo plaid leggings, right? These are things that nuances with the language and the plaid. I'm Canadian, we all know what, or even in the northern states, you know what buffalo plaid is. It's just a, you know, it's an inherent thing. We call them a red plaid flannel button-up shirts. They're also known as, like, you know, the Canadian dinner jacket kind of thing, right? Like it's pretty funny, but we all know what buffalo plaid is, or plaid in general, and you don't have the word plaid in here at all. I'm looking at this, I'm seeing like light pink buffalo plaid plus size leggings, like light pink buffalo plaid leggings, plus size women's workout pants, you know, have workout in here, plaid trousers. No one's looking for trousers. So that again, when I hear the word trousers, it makes me think of like my grandparents' generation, and I'm no spring chicken, so like it's an older term, very British also, and no one's using plaid trousers to kind of describe leggings. Like if I typed plaid trousers, never mind the lack of search volume, right? Yeah, you've got gentlemen's things and actual pants that would be considered trousers. This is what I'm saying. It's got that vintage aesthetic, right? These are what I think of. That's exactly what I think of. I don't see yoga leggings or workout pants anywhere, right? Yeah, I would work on the grammatical aspects first and foremost, do some research as to what other shops in your niche are doing. No lack of effort here. So the things you're doing really well are the volume here. You've got that. You're working hard, you're doing things, but it's about doing things that move that needle, right? So getting reward for all your work. If you're just gonna pump out stuff without nailing down the listing titles and the keywording, you're really doing yourself a disservice, and it's unfortunate because you're putting all the work in, but you're not doing all of the right work, if that makes sense. Yeah, cut these down definitely. I'd like to see like 8 or 9 sections tops. Like you don't want to have somebody to have to scroll to see the bottom. I'm on like I'm on a desktop and I still have to scroll down to get to the last section there. And yoga leggings. Okay, so you've got yoga leggings, but you got, are these not yoga leggings also, right? So you know what I'm saying? And then you had the other ones too, right? Like you had the pink movie collection, but you have lots of leggings. So I mean, if I wanted to find this, I have to go to the pink movie collection. But if I, come here and I'm looking for sports bra and yoga leggings, it's not in here, right? So like if people are looking for leggings, it's not in the legging section. They're not gonna know to go over here and buy it. Yeah, you've got a lot you can do here pretty quickly, I think, in terms of organizing your shop, because you've already got the listings. So a good amount of listings. Like I have shops with a lot less listings that make, relatively speaking, really good sales. So it's not about the amount of listings necessarily, but I think having the right keywords, like your SEO needs to be on point or you'll never get found. And if you're not using all of your SEO real estate to your advantage, then you have even less of a chance, right, of getting found. All of that stuff will make this kind of pop in a new direction pretty quickly, I think. Make this, again, a little more concise. Follow us here, come check us out. And then if we went to, I'm gonna go, like, where do your customers hang out, right? That's the one of these 3 that I would put focus on. So we'll go to Facebook. Okay, yeah, so you're active. Not gonna dissect this. I just wanted to make sure that you were active. And you've also got your standalone.com. Holy, you're everywhere. You are everywhere. I love that you're everywhere, but if you're having trouble selling on Etsy, you're probably having trouble selling on Shopify or whatever, your standalone, your .com here. So this is really well done. It looks awesome. I don't know if you're going to be able to put in successful efforts here either, only because to have your own .com takes a ton of marketing. You have to know what you're doing. Maybe this is working for you. I hope it is. But what I'm seeing here is a lack of grammatical and understanding of the keywords of SEO. And if you're having troubles here with that, there's a good chance you're having trouble here. I'm not saying you are, but there's a good chance, because this is going to be more difficult. I would kind of tone it down, focus on one, figure out what works, use Etsy as a testing ground even, and then take what you learn from here with all your back end, with your data, run some ads and see what people are clicking on to get to your shop, right? And then apply that to this if that's what you want to do. Take your time, go through it, and use the stuff available to you, right? Like Etsy, it only costs you 20 cents a listing up front. The rest of it is like, you only pay the fees if you make sales, not like your Shopify or your standalone here, right? Like if you're not making sales on that, you're paying regardless. So yeah, thanks again for your courage and for putting yourself out there and for sharing your shop with everybody. All right, the last one is Renee's shop, Creaneetjje. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so forgive me. It's from the Netherlands, so we've got Dutch wording here. Again, this is something where you want people. So the bulk of your stuff is going to sell in the United States. That's just the biggest congregation of consumers. So they're going to be the ones buying most of your stuff. So make sure that your shop can be memorable to people in the United States. That's number one. Even as a Canadian, I make sure everything works for the US market. Colorful baby and toddler clothes, print on demand. I would leave print on demand out of it. It tells people that you're not really making stuff yourself, right? And while most people are okay with that, they definitely don't need to be reminded that you're outsourcing part of the process, right? Especially, when you have little to no sales. 0 to 36 months, that works. I would make sure you have these designs on all of them, because what I found when I did sell onesies, and don't use the word onesie, as you know, it'll be baby bodysuit, unless you use the actual Gerber onesie, and even then there's stipulations on how you can actually type Gerber onesie, you know, there's a way to do it, and you can email them and they'll tell you how to do it for free. And yes, you can do it that way, but it has to also, again, be the actual trademark Gerber brand onesie. Otherwise, we're talking about these, and what I was saying is put the design on different size of the bodysuits, because I've had people that love a design so much, like it was like something to do with tacos or something ridiculous, right? They bought the 0 to 6 month, they bought the 6 to 12 month, and they bought the 12 to 24 month because they knew how fast a baby would outgrow it. They loved it and they wanted the baby to have it for about a year or two. Many times I was selling multiples. Just looking at what you got here for sections, kind of reiterating what I've said before, is like condense these into a few, because it's a waste of a customer's time. You've got, typically a customer will stay on a page up to 8 seconds, and if they don't find something they like, they will leave. You want to secure that, and you've got like 3 seconds, I think, for them to like decide whether or not they're going to add it to cart. So definitely make sure that you don't waste their time coming in for one item in here and then having to go back. I don't know if everything is in here. Maybe these total 135, but I feel like there's some that are not assigned to a section. So I would condense these a bit for sure. There's ways you can figure it out, you know what I mean? For babies, birthdays, you only got one, first birthday, I would add, you know, you're doing kid stuff, get rid of the 0 to 36 months, add some junior T's. Then you can do baby, like, birthdays up to, you know, 5 or 6 years old at least, right? Young children birthdays, I'll tell you, do well. These are funny. You had me at happy, a little bit difficult to read, but yeah, they're cute. Wedding, what are we doing with wedding? Ring security, okay. And then you have funny. Our food pun's not funny, so this is the kind of thing, right, where you could have poop machine. It is funny. I mean, you got that right. Sassy little soul. Yeah, these are great. Professional pooper. That's great. I would even have, like, I mean, you could go all the way with the poop stuff. That's probably, I'd be surprised if you don't have any poop things in the sales, because poop stuff's always funny. Okay, you got none, so it's all Easter. And some pride stuff. All Easter, interesting. Maybe you only had a few items up at the time, so let's check that out. Okay, sort by most recent. So that means if we go to the last page, we'll have the oldest listing, Daddy and Me. Okay, let's see. Here, April 29th. So then we go, this is probably the same, April 29th, and then you went right into Pride. Okay, you got a ton of Pride stuff, nothing wrong with that. However, where are we? Pride 36. So that makes up like a quarter of your shop is Pride stuff for children under 3 years old. I almost feel like that's just way too kind of niche. These designs will work for anybody, all ages, right? But I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice that way. I just would expand on a lot of stuff. I get that you were capitalizing on the seasonality of it, it looks like, because you know, for Pride Month and stuff. But if you're not necessarily going to be an ally, and you look like you stopped right away and you went into cats right after Pride, so you're trying to capitalize on a movement, but are you truly an ally? Right? I would stay away from the seasonality for the kids. Like, you're having a good time, veggie, broccoli, celery, kale, eggplant, peas, whatever that is, courgette, onion, beans. I would almost kind of go with something that, you know, was definitely going to be more evergreen. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go with like the seasonality and just kind of do things that are like popular, that have their peak months, then I mean, you can do that and crush it, but you needed to have Halloween up here like in the next 2 weeks, and you need Thanksgiving. I don't know when Thanksgiving in the States is compared to Canada's, but I know ours is in October here. I think yours is in November. So I would hammer Halloween now. Back to school is almost too late. These kids aren't actually in school yet. If you expand on the ages and go up to 5, that gives you a way more leverage in terms of, you know, what things are good for. All of these designs, I think, can be applied to larger t-shirts. Yeah, just up the ages and add t-shirts. If you're going to be doing the clothing already, like, so it's only sweatshirts and only baby bodysuits. Okay. Yeah, t-shirts are the easiest and most popular. So I would definitely just add t-shirts and add your designs to them, or throw up a few more designs. You could even have a t-shirt option in your, because it'll be the same price, and then go right into T2, T3, T4 for the toddler t-shirts up to 5 or whatever you wanted to do. These kinds of things look great. You got Father's Day in there. That's a Father's Day gift for the kid to dad almost, right? So Father's Day gift, yeah, it looks good. I think your keywords are great. Father's Day gift, gender neutral, Daddy and Me. Yeah, I think you're doing okay in terms of that. You can do the seasonal things. I think that's what's you're kind of going for, and then you do have some other evergreen stuff. I feel like if you can bring a unique aesthetic, like these are all over the place in terms of design, So like, I don't know, you've got this kind of retro thing going that's been hot for the last year or two. The line art stuff is on fire for the same last year or two, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Different design styles everywhere. Yeah, I really feel like you can add the t-shirts here. I think that'll go a long way. Opens it up to, you know, a lot more people. Let's see about us here, or sorry, about our shop. Small family business. Want to learn more about us? Baby bodysuits. I wouldn't say print on demand again, leave that out. And, oh, so you're only using a company in the Netherlands. Wow. Okay. Let me see here. Do you ship? Okay, so you from the Netherlands. So if I ordered now, I wouldn't get it for a month. Holy, with print on demand, this is going to be your easiest win, is your time here. You're running out of time. So birthdays, it makes sense that you didn't target them. Target birthdays and use a US based printer. Your customers will get it way faster, way faster. Sometimes they're getting stuff out the door in 2 days, and it can be 2 to 3 days in transit, and they could have it order on a Monday, have it in hand on a Friday. That would be incredible. And like I said, I wouldn't try to target local. Target the United States customer if you really want to blow this up. That's a massive takeaway for you there. I think definitely try to target that US seller, and for that to happen, the North American shopper is so jaded now with the Amazons of the world and Prime shipping and everything. Your Etsy customer is a little more tolerant that way in terms of timelines, but no one wants to wait a month for a t-shirt or whatever. Oh, you do have a t-shirt. Okay, it's got the buttons though. So to me, I was looking at this still a toddler stuff. But yeah, the customer is way more tolerant on Etsy in that respect, but nobody wants to wait again up to the 27th estimated arrival. So you're shipping them out in 3-4 days, but it's taking anywhere from up to 27 days to get to you. It's just not going to work, right? Yeah, that's the number one there. Start using US based, and if it's because of the products, then some things you can have. Like, I know that people were having a hard time finding toddler sweatshirts. That's the case, then use them for that particular product. But add t-shirts, get stuff out the door, and just regular onesies. Pride Baby onesie. Is it a Gerber onesie? I don't think it is. I think you would have said it was. Made by Larkwood, so I don't think that's an actual Gerber onesie. Remove the word onesie immediately, and it's a trademark, not a copyright. So do a little bit of research on that kind of thing. You definitely do not want to be using onesie unless you get actual Gerber onesies. And even then, like I was saying in the beginning, there's a certain way that you have to put that verbiage. So do that and save yourself the headache there. But yeah, that's the big one there. Open yourself up to the US market. A lot of these would probably sell, because I'm like looking, the design's cute. Mr. Perfect. These are great. These are cute. You could do a lot more and sell a lot more instantly by opening yourself up to the US and adding t-shirts, at least for the kids stuff, right? You don't have to go into like anything past the youth sizes, but I would even go up, never mind just toddlers, but I would go up to youths, like make yourself a kids shop, one-stop shop. Because a lot of parents that have one kid will have 2 or 3 kids, right? And as soon as you hit 3 kids, they're probably spanning 5 or 6 years. So if you want to be a shop where somebody can come and buy more than one item at a time, or maybe, if you're buying gifts for somebody who has kids and you can come to your shop and knock them all off or check them all off that list, then what better way to do that, right? Is to be able to offer stuff that somebody can come and buy for one entire family without having to go to another shop just to find a youth small or a youth extra small t-shirt that you just don't carry because you only go up to 36 months, right? Things like that. Or what if you have a big baby, right? What if you just have a bigger baby? Like my buddy had one that needed an extra small youth shirt or a small youth shirt, and the kid was only like 2 years old. They were just massive, or 3 years old. So there's that too, right? I like this stuff. This stuff always sells well. So the Daddy and Me tugs on the heartstrings, but these are a little tongue-in-cheek, a little more kind of not quite badass, but a little more edgy, right? Sassy and proud sort of thing, right? That's the kind of stuff I think will go well, a little edgier. There's not a lot of people doing it still. Anytime you can find kind of a gap in the marketplace and do something a little bit different, even if it's a design aesthetic, because none of this that I'm looking at is necessarily unique in terms of its design aesthetic. So if you can do something, maybe a retro vibe with a little bit of distressing, right? Maybe you can do things like that. And that actually is another massive win with print on demand. As much as it's machine oriented and you need machines and massive amounts of equipment to do things, there's still very much a manual element to it in terms of maintaining the machines, the maintenance, the changing of the inks, the making sure that the ink roll-up bags are rolled tight enough that there's enough pressure. None of this is probably making sense to you, but there's enough pressure in there to make sure that the inks come out, and then the nozzles have to be cleaned properly. What I'm getting to is that there's a lot of reasons that your print may not turn out amazing. So one way I found, and this is a little golden nugget here, one way I found to ensure that your print-on-demand prints always look good, or to mitigate customer complaints when your solid colors don't print awesome, especially with whites on dark colors, is to do it distressed, because then it looks like it's already aged or weathered to a degree, right? I get 1 or 2 complaints a year with like a few thousand sales at a time. So it's not something that, you know, customers complain all about. Like you see people complaining in all the print on demand groups about quality of their prints and stuff. Well, a little bit of distressing can go a long way. The dark, the black, you'll never have an issue because most printers will probably print CMYK. A lot of them will add white in the background, but it's only an issue when you have solid colors like this and nothing else going on. Like this stuff will probably print awesome. Solid colors, just not that they won't necessarily print awesome, but they leave yourself open to more potential risk in terms of print quality, right? So I hope that makes sense. I think you got a few things you can do pretty quickly here, you know, that can make some changes too. So all 3 shops, thank you ladies for having the courage to kind of put yourself out there and let me go through and do this live. And again, if you want to have your shop reviewed, come join my Facebook group. It's Etsy Print on Demand. You can just search that up in Facebook and it'll be the one with the big orange X in it. And look for the featured posts and drop your shop link in the comments. All right, that takes care of these last 3. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're finding any value, definitely let me know. Give me a like and follow, and we'll see you in the next one.